What's going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. We're in Warframe, and we're going to work on the Braton Prime today. This will be my Braton Prime guide. I finally finished up working on this one. 3 Forma in is what it took to make me happy, and a lot of different configurations along the way. So, with that said, this is just a guide. This is not an exact way you have to build a weapon. This is just based off of my personal playstyle, my personal taste. If you enjoy it, great. If you don't, it's perfectly understandable. There's a million different ways you can build this weapon. But just keep in mind, this is based off of my personal taste. So let's get things started. And let's talk just about the basics right here. So accuracy is 28.6. Critical chance 10.0. Critical multiplier is 1.5. Fire rate is 8.8. Magazine is 50. Reload is 2.2. Status is a 10%. Impact 1.3, puncture 8.8/15. Generally overall it's a pretty decent weapon. The Braton family of weapons are all different in different types of parts of things being better or this and that, so they're all very personalized, personal taste in the weapons. How I am generally going to run this one to suit me best is going to be looking a little bit like this. So accuracy is actually going to drop down to 16.9. I'm not going to touch the critical. I'm going to keep that the same, 10% and 1.5. Time multiplier. Fire rate's going to move up to a 10.9. Magazine stays the same. Reload stays the same. Status chance is going to be 54.6% increase. Beautiful status chance. Impact up to 9.5. Puncture 66. Slash of 114. And I'm going to combo this in a blast and corrosive setup, 228 for each. At the 54.5% status chance and this really nice fire rate, this means I'm going to be proccing a lot. And with the basic damage, we're going to have stagger, damage reduction, and bleed. As well as on the blast and corrosive, we're going to have knockdown and a negative armor reduction. So very good overall. Can pretty much handle anything that's out there, and if you are definitely running my style, very aggressive style, you will find that this works out really well, even with that negative accuracy loss that you take, because you're not going to really be using this at too far of a distance, so there's not going to be really that much of a loss in that accuracy for you. So how do we start this out? We go ahead and we, of course, serration, maxed out serration at 165%. Then we go ahead and we add in the split chamber, the multi-shot at 90%, which basically takes that that whole status and really does say, I mean, the rate of fire that we have, you're going to always be proccing somehow with this weapon. Then we're going to actually use the heavy caliber, so a 135% damage increase, negative 45% accuracy. If you don't have heavy caliber on this one, just go ahead and maybe throw in an actual slash mod for this to increase your slash damage. That's like a 90% increase, and that would work as well here. But that's alternatively, I went ahead with the heavy caliber to get the additional damage, and the accuracy loss, like I said, for me is not very much of an issue. Then I went ahead and I finally put in a shred mod here, so I increased the fire rate 25%, and that makes this thing really good. And of course the one punch through, so that means I can shoot through basically 2 enemies, through walls to an enemy, more or less thinner walls to one enemy, something like that. And you'll see that happen from time to time as I'm running. I can shoot through a pole or something that gets in my way, and it doesn't really stop me. So that's the way I really like it with it, and with the increased fire rate, it really feels like a really good, powerful weapon. In terms of elements, we're going to combo in high voltage, give me electricity and status, mixing it with the malignant force here, which is going to give me the poison and status, and that's going to create my corrosive. And then I'm going to use rhyme rounds for the freeze with the status chance increase, and thermite rounds for the extra fire chance and the status chance. So those two are going to combine and make the blast damage. You don't have to utilize these status cards. Of course, it makes a huge difference if you do. If you don't have them all for a while, of course, we didn't have the cold or the freeze one, so I was just running regular cold mod in there, and I was getting like a 46% status chance, so still a good enough status chance. So there's different ways you could move it around and still get a nice status chance, but the weapon will still be effective either way that you look at it. But I really wanted to run it this way, so this is how it came out. Now, alternatively, if you don't want to run it this way, it's just a matter of simply switching cards around to change up the elements. You can run one with a gas and magnetic, which is really good as well. Then you're talking more corpus and infested in terms of the weapon and how it runs. Or you can even run a radiation and viral, and this one will be very effective overall as well. But of course, the radiation effective against the Grenier. Viral pretty much handles all enemies. A negative effect on the infested, but not that much that it would even be noticeable. You'd still get enough core damage in there because of the slash of the weapon. But the final build setup is going to look a little bit like this. Serration, split chamber, heavy caliber shred, high voltage, malignant force, rhyme rounds, thermite rounds, pretty much all V slots. Like I said, I tried this out a million different combinations, and this is what finally worked best for me. So if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I will gladly answer them as best I can. If you'd like to hit that like button for me. If you're not subscribed and you'd like to subscribe, please do hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.